Hi, this is Jerry, JC Seiji, and welcome to my channel and to this 39th episode of my Legacy series. And this series, this time, I'm going to run across a few things I want to share with you. I want to focus, I think, on my father's mother, my paternal grandmother. Her name was Frankie Pearl Copeland, and actually, her birth name was Frankie Pearl Sellers. She married Austin Copeland, and she was born in 1905. And I have a bunch of pictures of her. I even have one of her of a school she was in, and I think she's around 5, so that's 1910 or so. So I don't know. I don't have that here. I don't know where it's at, but when I run across it again, I will show you that. But I'm going to show you a few pictures of her and tell you a little bit about her. And she died in she was the first family member to die that I was around, and it was a really scary thing for me at the time. It was 1984, and I did, you know, I recall that day because my dad, they were living in a house that my dad had bought for them. That her son had bought for them, and it's a small little house, probably smaller than this house that I'm in. And she was in bed. I walked in there. She was in bed, and her husband, my grandfather, was beside himself. He wanted her to get out of bed and make him something to eat, but she was just completely unable to do anything. And it was really freaky. First time you encounter something like this, you need to keep your head. And so what I did was I called my dad up, told him, and he was the response. He called I guess he called the ambulance and came and got her and took her to the hospital. And she currently died a day or two later. So that was really unreal, and I can't really forget that experience because I felt so insufficient. It's like I knew she was seriously ill, but I couldn't do anything to stop it. That's that's a bad feeling to have. I think that's the way life is. But she's a great lady. She's a good friend. She's the one that really got me involved in even doing these videos because she was really into history, the history of the family, and she had a rich history that I really haven't completely explored yet. Uh, Her father was a Texas Ranger back in the late 1800s, and he was a kid, like maybe around 17, I guess. I have a picture of him in his little troop he was in. They're mostly young kids, uh, 15 on up, and carrying guns, riding horses, and chasing after. Most of the time they were chasing. They had in Texas in those days. They had bandits coming up from Mexico, come and rob and kill, and they ended up chasing them uh, a lot, going after them, and I don't know what else they did. And I know that eventually he's uh, I guess he quit the Texas Ranger, marrying uh, uh, her mother. Her name was, I don't remember her name offhand. I'll have to check that out. And oh, Viola, that's right, Viola, but I don't remember her maiden name. I haven't at all. And settled down in a town in southwestern Oklahoma, and eventually I think he became like either a sheriff or a police officer in that town. But one thing she did, and apparently they're really educated. She had, I think, at least 3 other sisters, and I don't recall any brothers. 3 other sisters I know of, and she was the second oldest sister. And I have pictures of that. I'm not too sure if they're in here. I'll tell you about what I have when I pull these out. And she, when depression hit, she had married my grandfather named Austin Copeland, and they ended up becoming migrant workers and living on the road in a tent. Sometimes they would stay in a place, but that cost money, and money was something hard to find. In those days, you worked all day picking cotton for a quarter a bale. And a bale of cotton is a pretty big bundle of cotton, and you spend all day. If you're good, you may have made a couple of bales a day. Imagine working all day for a quarter or half 50 cents. Of course, that money was worth a lot more then. And so they ended up in a apparently, well, they ended up in eastern Oklahoma where my mother lived, and they had a son, my father, Marshall, and at some point in the apparently, from what I recall, a relative in the early 40s came up in California and found a job and went back and told them they had worked in California. And so a whole bunch of the family members came in California in like 1941. Or, yeah, I think 1941 or maybe 40. No, it had to be 42 because my parents graduated from high school in like March or April of 1942, and so they had to come after that. So in the middle of 42, they came up to California. And out here, what my grandmother ended up becoming was a seamstress, and she was really good at it. She worked at it almost all her life while she was out here. She had certain clients, lady clients, that she worked for, and I even had her do some shirts for me if I can find any of those. Most of them are gone rags. But, if I find any of those, I'll show you what I'm talking about. But I found this one thing she did. She did needlework, and what you do in needlework is, I think you like buy a fabric and maybe edging for that fabric and a pattern for designs, and you just sew it all together, sew in the pattern. And I'll show you this one I found that she did. She still has a needle in there. That's just, she used it to stick a pin in for some reason. I don't really know why, but here's what I found that she had did. I know this is a long talk, but this is needlework. She sewed all that by hand. I don't know how, but it took good eyes and good hands to do that work. I think she actually bought the edging and sewed it onto this piece of fabric too. And I have no idea. She did a lot of this kind of work. She also did embroidery work too. I have some of those. I'll show you those in time. She's really gifted in this capacity, but she also had rheumatoid arthritis. Eventually cropped up, and that's where I get it from. That genetic inheritance, and her fingers got so crooked that they had to see what the doctor, and they had to break her fingers to get it work again. So don't ask me how they did that, but it's pretty weird. But let me show you a few of the pictures that focus on her that I have. Here is one. Now this says 1905. So 05. Let's see. 1985 is 1950. This is 15, 20. Okay. She's 17 years old. 17 years old. 1922. This is my grandmother. 1922. Taking her home in western Oklahoma. Let's see. Look at that car. Isn't that really cool? Let's see how you get this up. No Model T or Model A, I don't really know what. Very unreal. My grandmother at 17. Okay. And let's see here. Let's see what else I can find of her. Here's the other one of her. Okay. This is 1921. Here she is 16. I suppose these are her sisters. Her older sister and yes, younger sister. So this is her youngest sister, I guess, was still a infant. 1921. And she's in the middle there. That's her older sister, I believe. Her next younger sister. Okay. And there's that car behind them with a roof up. I'll show you a picture. 1921. This is Oklahoma, western Oklahoma. Hot, dry, windy. And the last picture I have in this pile here of just her is also from 1921. This is her in front of her house. 1921. She's a very intelligent woman, very patient, and very committed to her faith. Gives you an idea of her. Doesn't that remind you of Princess Leia? That's all that hairdo is. Oh my goodness. Okay, so, and I guess that's it on the pictures that are just hers. I have others here I'll show you. Let's get this down here. But in another episode. So, sorry to keep this so long and talk so much, but this lady is one of the major ladies that influenced my life and my perspective. So, till later. Bye.